welcome to Cat Chat. Am I on the screen there? Yes. Oh, there I am. Okay. Hey everyone, welcome to Cat Chat. How's my voice over there, Brian?
You're good.
Okay. Can you hear me, Carol?
It's just fine.
Oh, you can. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, everybody, welcome to Cat Chat here on Wild Animal Television. Thanks for joining us. We like people that are into conservation, into helping large cats. That's why we call it Cat Chat. You might think we call it Cat Chat because Carol is cool, and I'm a cool cat, but, well, that's kind of true. Although, Carol, I don't know, I know I told you to turn down your lights, but now I think you might have turned them down too low.
Well, the problem is it's natural lighting, so as clouds come by and everything, it kind of gets brighter and darker.
Oh, okay. Well, young ladies like yourself tend to like natural lighting. Anyway. Hey, could you give me a pen there, Brian, please? Oh, thank you. Oh, oops. That's all right. It's so funny. He did an acrobat flip to give it to me. It was weird. Okay. All right. Well, much to cover. Many papers. They can get these show notes. Is that right, Carol?
Yes, if they go to bigcatrescue.org and just type Cat Chat in the search bar, they'll bring up all of the Cat Chat show notes.
Great. Hey, Brian, I know that that the audience can hear Carol very well and stuff, but could you do me a favor and just turn up the speakers only on the thing so I can hear her a little bit better, since I don't have my earphone thing today. Yeah. Well, I don't know. She has to say something first.
Carol, would you like to say something for me?
Hey, Carol, could you say something? Oh, yeah, maybe down just a notch.
Yeah. I'm not getting the feedback that I was getting before, so that's good.
Well, we changed our studio here a little bit to assist in getting rid of that. As a matter of fact, starting next week, y'all will see a higher quality show, because what we're going to try to do is kind of record it. We're going to pre-record it. Then
we're going to pre-record it live.
I mean, we're going to do it. It's going to be called semi-live. So what that means is we'll have a Google Hangouts going that will invite you to join in, and then the product that you're seeing right now, the actual broadcast part of it, that'll be edited correct, edited for any errors. We'll take those out and all that kind of thing. Make sure audio is great and all that. And then the final product will be in HD, because right now when I'm broadcasting to you, although our cameras are HD, you're not actually getting the recording's not getting in HD. And I want the recordings to be in HD. Because
yeah, that'd be nice.
Right, because the recording is whatever I'm broadcasting at, which is like a lower bit rate, so to speak. But y'all aren't here to hear about technical stuff. You're here to hear about cats and everything Big Cat Rescue. So, first let me welcome the people who make all this possible for cats, and that's Carol Baskin. That's Carol Baskin right there, the lady on, I guess she's the one closest to me. And
I'm the old one.
No, she's the model. And then we have cheerful Jamie over there.
She's my precious daughter.
Is that your daughter?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know. Wow.
Really? You didn't recognize the hair?
Oh, you are so lucky to have Carol Baskin as your mom. I can't even believe it. Wow.
I'm the lucky one. She's been doing this work since she was 12 years old.
Yeah, but shoot, honey, I'd love to have you as a mom, Carol Baskin. You both are lucky then, I guess.
She's like, take her, fine.
Oh, I'll take her. No problem at all, honey. Well, that's great. So, Jamie, why is Jamie joining us today?
Jamie was invited to go to Spain and to help an organization there with a new problem that they have. They've been rescuing chimps in the past, but now they're rescuing big cats. And so I wanted her to be able to talk about her recent visit to Spain. They were there for a week, her and her husband, who is our Justin Borstein. And I'm going to switch over to the screenshot here, or the website so that you can see the pictures while she's talking about it.
Okay, that'd be great. So, how was your trip to Spain?
And since she won't focus on this picture, I'll start with her and Justin on the plane to Spain.
Okay, on a plane to Spain. So that's her. Is that your husband? I take it.
Yes.
Oh, cute. Okay. Oh, look,
So
she
we
does
were
look like Carol
invited
there a little
to-
bit. What was that, Carol?
I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said she looks like you there a little bit in that picture with her husband. Yeah, doesn't she has a? You can see her in her eyes. You can see the hate in her eyes now.
She has big eyes, like I do.
So do you. Okay, so all right, so we see that there. I'm getting a little bit delayed because I'm watching via Justin TV.
So we got invited to a rescue center in Spain that currently rescues primates and other monkeys, and they had a planned development for a part of their sanctuary where they want to start building large cat enclosures to start rescuing large cats from circuses and pet homes there. So we were there to try to give them all the information that we could to build the best enclosures for the big cats and give them all the knowledge of how to care for the cats that we've acquired over the past 20 years.
Oh, okay.
So this picture right here is of their current property and the area that they want to build the enclosures for the big cats.
Oh. What's the weather like down there?
It's pretty hot. It's it was probably around like 87 to 90 degrees, and it's very dry there, different than Florida and the humidity.
Well, dry heat is better than moist heat, I think. Humid.
Yeah, unless you come from a place like Florida where you're used to it always being humid, you go to an environment like that and you're thirsty all the time.
Oh.
It's like, I'm in the desert, I'm gonna die.
Well, Jamie, you grew up in Florida, right?
Yes.
Great. All right.
This picture kind of shows you the terrain.
Yeah, it's very dry, scrubby brush, little short trees. This is us with the architect going over the designs of
Oh, okay.
what they're planning to build there.
Oh.
How many experts did they bring?
There was probably a dozen experts invited from all over Europe, and then us from Big Cat Rescue. We were the only people there from the United States.
And what do they want your expertise on?
They currently take care of primates, so they have no experience at all with caring for big cats. And so they basically wanted to know everything that's involved with caring for the cats, from feeding, enrichment, enclosures, just 100% everything what's involved with having a big cat sanctuary.
Uh-huh. And why did they choose? Well, we kind of know why they chose you, but what was the official reason why they chose Big Cat Rescue?
One of the members of the organization had toured our sanctuary a couple of years ago when she was touring a bunch of facilities in the States, and she really liked what we did here and the design and setup that we have, so she suggested that we get invited to the symposium.
Is she the same one that's coming back Monday, or is that somebody else?
I don't know that anybody's coming from there on them.
Somebody from
Yeah.
Boston.
Is that anybody coming
No.
there?
Oh, okay.
So you can see that they have a lot of property right at the base of this chain of mountains, and they are probably a 10-minute drive from town, and town includes a population of about 300 people, so they're kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
And what's the name of the going to be?
The name of the place is AAP App and Primadoma. They're gonna change their name at all to include
Carnivorous.
So is this like a multi-million-dollar operation?
I would guess so. Their facilities are very nice. They have huge open air enclosures where the chimps are on probably 10 acres of land.
Now, in Spain, do they have the same kind of tiger problems and even primate problems that us here in the United States seems to can't get rid of?
They have a huge problem there with exotic pet ownership, and from the stories that I heard, a lot of the animals come over on ships, so it sounds like they may be actually from the wild, whereas here a lot of them are bred in captivity by private owners. And then, so they have the same problems there. People get these animals as pets, and then they can't take care of them, and they end up in really horrible situations.
What about the chimp?
There was one in particular that they were telling us about that a family had got as a pet, and once it became unhandleable, they locked it in the basement, and there was a little window in their kitchen down to the basement, and they would throw food down for it, and it lived there for 20 years before it was rescued.
How did they clean the cage?
The chimp would actually pick up its mess and bring it up to the window for them to take out.
See, like
So
stuff
sad.
like that is just like that's like beyond heart wrenching. That's like I don't know. I don't even know what I don't even know the name of that feeling that it makes you feel. It sucks, whatever it is. You animal abusers, I mean, have just got to stop this. Stop, seriously. I mean, I know telling
So
you.
how does it?
I'm sorry, what?
I was asking Jamie how AAP is trying to stop that problem in Spain.
I know. it would stop that problem in Spain.
AAP is very involved with legislation, and they work closely with the authorities there. So if the authorities confiscate animals, they can place them with app, and by having that relationship, it encourages the authorities to take action when they see situations like this occurring.
You know, I could cure the whole exotic animal trade problem very quickly. All they have to do is make it a capital offense, punishable by death. Seriously. Make it like that. You kill an animal, you torture an animal, well, then we're going to kill you and torture you. I mean, make it like, you know, put it up there with drug trafficking and murder and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, they freak out when you got a little bit of marijuana, but yet you could have a tiger in clamps torturing it in your back seat and they won't say a thing, but you have a joint and you're going to jail. Seriously. I mean, this, you know, there's, I don't know.
Messed up priority.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I just don't even like, you know, it's so hard. I almost get exhausted from talking about animal abusers because there's just so many of them and it just doesn't stop. You know, every time I mean,
You know, we think about it being,
I'm sorry.
we think about it being so bad here in the United States, and then we hear that it's going on in Spain as well. But I've had no idea they were having such a big problem there.
Me either. And then it makes it worse knowing that they're coming from a ship, which means that they're getting them out of the wild. Which, you know, if you watch wild animal television, you'll see videos of things like, you know, in countries where they on the roadside they just sell exotic animals. That's because some of these countries that have exotic animals are so poor, they have absolutely no way of making any money. And they have to eat. You know, so then they go and they sell these exotic animals to stupid people that buy them. And it's just, you know, it's like this circle of evil.
Jamie was telling me that this place has a sister sanctuary in the Netherlands and that they've been working with their legislature. And I thought they came up with a really clever idea for how to deal with these wild animals.
They've been working on a positive list, a list of animals that are approved for people to have in private ownership. And they've been working on this list for 20 years, and it just got passed and will go into effect January of next year. And pretty much anything that's on the list is okay to own, and everything that's not on the list is banned. So the things on the list are your more domesticated pets.
Dogs, cats, pigs, chickens, those kinds of animals.
Well, you know,
I thought that was a really clever.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear your last statement. You thought that was what?
I thought it was a very clever approach. Instead of trying to figure out, what's every kind of animal stupid people think they could own, than just making a list of these are the animals you can have, and nobody else can have any other kind of animal than what's on the approved list. I love that.
Yes, I think that's a good idea. That's trying to figure out a solution to the problem. Because, I mean, the people who own these animals and breed them and everything else, they'll tell you, because in their head, they think that they have a right to own exotic animals. And in their head, they think ooh, you're taking away their American right, their rights. Forget the animal rights of being in captivity. But, the people are so concerned about their rights that they don't even care. So then, so I guess that's a way to appease these people who don't, who are so concerned about their rights. I don't think you should have any rights when it comes to animals. No, they belong in the forest or jungle or desert. Look, I'm pissed off today. You could probably tell because I've just had it with I've had it with animal abuse. I'm disgusted by it. And today I even had here's how sensitive I am for it, right? I got up today. Okay, you all know we got 8 puppies, right? So my partner, because I'm a clean freak, so then their puppy area, he's been cleaning with Pine Sol, right? So then prior to that, he was using Spick and Span that's safe for pets, which is cool. So then I go look at the puppies today, and they all smell like Pine Sol, and they all have this like film on them, and I freaked out. I was like, "You're like slowly poisoning these puppies." You don't put Pine Sol on the floor and let them roll in it, and so much so that they have a film on them. Most likely probably wasn't hurting them, but yet, I think you have to be that way. You have to be very concerned about animals and their welfare and how they feel.
Jamie's husband, Justin, went with her on this trip, and he handled a big part of what they were talking about. They broke into 3 separate sections. They had animal husbandry, zoo design, and then veterinary care. And the images that are up on the screen now are Justin talking about the veterinary care issues, and Jamie wasn't in that group, but she knows pretty much what he was talking about, if you want to share that.
He basically just went over our normal protocols for caring for the animals, what vaccines we give them, how we treat fleas, different sedation protocols or tranquilizing protocols for emergencies, all stuff that is completely new to them because they only deal in primates, so they have no experience with what the vet care needs of big cats are.
Well, you know what? I kind of have a little bit of experience with primates, seeing how it's all done and stuff like that. And I think do they do a good job taking care of their primates?
A very good job. The place was very clean, and the animals were well cared for. They had lots and lots of space, and they have a huge enrichment program there to keep all of the animals entertained.
Now, tigers in themselves are difficult to take care of. That's why you shouldn't own one, anybody. But a primate is more difficult to take care of. So if they are doing a very good job with their primates, I hope it's safe to assume that they're going to do a great job with their cats.
Right. I think they will definitely have no problem with all the information that they got at the conference from the different organizations. We'll continue to work with them as they're developing their enclosures and the programs. We'll continue to work with them and tweak things and help them figure out things that we've learned through experience already.
Maybe more trips to Spain.
Ooh,
that can't be bad.
Well, okay. Now, first, are they governed by anybody? And also, will you be doing a follow-up visit?
I'm not sure about the what kind of regulatory agencies that are in place there.
I know they were looking at being accredited by the Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries, so they're looking into that.
One of the things that we helped them with at this conference was they do have to provide a plan to their council of the enclosures they want to build and the buildings they want to install on the property. So we were kind of there to help them design the enclosures for the cats so that they could then turn it into their council to get approval. for that. And you could see in the background the maps on the wall of their property and the different stages throughout the years that they hope to accomplish. And we did get invited to go back as they're nearing the end of the completion for the big cat enclosures, just so that we could kind of inspect them and see if there were any problems that we noticed right off from dealing with cats. We have the experience and know what to look for, so we definitely have plans in the future to go visit.
Now, is there a facility going to be open to the public?
It's not currently open to the public, but that was one of the things that we talked about. Because of the way the politics works there, it really helps to have community support. So they want to get into doing some educational tours of the sanctuary, but they would be similar to what we do here, where they're all guided and they're mission oriented, and the cats are never forced to be on display. They live in very large enclosures full of brush and dens and platforms that they can be on away from the public if they didn't want to be seen by people.
Oh, so what would you say, did you get to, I don't know if you got to talk with the public or anything like that, but what would you say the general feeling is about animals down there? I mean, are they more concerned about animals in general than we are here in America? I mean, like, if you were to compare us to America, who is more concerned about animal welfare?
I think that there's probably more concern about animal welfare here just because we are so digitally connected. I mean, everything's online, everything, you've got all these stories popping up and you're just completely aware of everything that's going on, whereas there it's a little bit harder to know what's going on, especially when the towns are really small and there's not a lot of communication.
I know we heard from you at all while you were over there because you didn't have internet service anywhere you went.
Yeah, so it's definitely more difficult to get the word out there, but everyone that we did talk to there, had very strong animal welfare
bias.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Are you glad to be back? I mean, did you enjoy Spain in general?
Yeah, I enjoyed it very much. I love traveling, but then, there's always a ton of work to catch up when you get back.
Right. Did you go out while you were up there? Like to the bar or anything?
We spent a couple extra days touring different towns before we came back. It was such a long flight there. We decided to take a couple extra days just to make the most of the trip.
Tell them about the restaurant. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
The last night of the conference, the organizer for the whole symposium took us all to dinner, and she had made plans with a family that owns it's called a bodega, but it's really it kind of looked like a wine cellar / cave that's been in their family for 300 years.
Wow.
And they made us this huge traditional feast, and
well, look how traditional.
it was really cool. It kind of looked like
skulls. That was so weird.
the scene kind of looked like something out of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
With the old glass bottles everywhere and human skulls on the shelves, and
Really?
there was just one. There was one room with a giant wooden table in the center that was just as old. You can just imagine back,
Pirates who ate there.
yeah, back in the day, the kind of
Wow.
crazy shenanigans that took place there.
Eating with your hands.
Look, I sit so still, I look like I'm frozen. Oh, God, I need to move around more. Well, I'm glad you're back safe and shared all that information with us, and I certainly hope that we stay, well, of course we'll stay posted on the whole Spain situation.
On Monday, we have some people from one of the groups that went there from Lion Rock in South Africa that will be coming back to the sanctuary coming to our sanctuary to visit. So that'll be interesting to catch up with them again.
Yes.
And Jamie lost her driver's license, so she's going to go get it renewed. So everybody say bye, Jamie.
Bye, Jamie. Did you say she lost her driver's license?
Yeah, she lost it.
What'd you do? DUI? No, I'm just kidding. Oh, look, she doesn't want to tell us what she did. Well, that's okay. Criminals don't.
No, I
have
mean,
to
she
pay.
physically lost it, not that it was taken.
Oh, okay. Physically lost it. Not, she didn't lose the way I lost mine, right?
No.
By suspension. Oh wait, look, my one camera. I have to fix it real fast, everybody. Let me run off camera real fast. Okay. Well, thank you, Jamie, for joining us. I certainly hope you join us again. She's like Carol number 2, in a way. How many kids you have? 2,
She's
right?
the only one.
You just have 1.
She's the only one.
Oh, she's the only. Why was I thinking you had a son?
I had 2 stepchildren, and my stepson died on his 20th birthday, got drunk and ran into a tree and died. And I still have a stepdaughter that lives in Lakeland.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that, for sure. Well, all right. Well, let's go on to other news. All right, what's next in our list of news here, Carol Basket?
I'm going to switch back over so I can see it.
I have some here, a 5-day, excuse me. I hate that word because I can't say it. Integrated? Investigative training and operational planning for South Asia was hosted. What's that about?
Oh, that was I'm going down. Is this the Interpol one that you're talking about, or?
Yeah, I think I jumped a story though, but yeah, what's the Interpol? To me, Interpol, that's the name of a bar in Akron, but Interpol focuses on Asian big cats. What's Interpol? It's not a bar in Akron. Well, it is, but it's something else too.
Well, a lot of times you'll hear them refer to Interpol in movies and such, where they're talking about spies and all of that sort of thing. Interpol is like the International Police Force. I guess that's probably what it stands for. But they have been really trying to work on environmental issues and crimes against wild tigers and other Asian big cats. And so they met in India recently, and they had 30 senior law enforcement officers come for 5 days for a training camp about the operational planning to try and crack down on some of these. It's a lot of times the same kind of drug rings that are smuggling drugs or smuggling wild animals. And so Interpol is working with a group called Traffic and SAWIN, which are the acronyms for something I can't even remember, but it's a group that does an awful lot to try and protect wild cats.
Right.
We have a new thing called Project Predator that they're working on.
Why do you think that is? That drug traffickers and, why do you think that they're combined like that?
Because there's so much money in it. The price of rhino horn is higher per ounce than gold. And so to smuggle rhino horn or to stockpile rhino horn or elephant tusks or tiger bones, those things are becoming more valuable than gold and diamonds. And the people that are in the business of smuggling drugs and illegal diamonds and those kinds of things have seen it as a new opportunity. And it's so much easier to smuggle that stuff because if you get caught, in the past, you just got a slap on the wrist and maybe some little fine. And so what Interpol is trying to do, and nations are doing around the world, is to try and make those penalties stiffer. So President Barack Obama just signed an executive order called the establishing a presidential task force on wildlife trafficking, because he realizes that the United States really needs to get involved in cracking down on this illegal trade. And of course, the reason that I brought this up for today's show is because this really has an awful lot to do with the big cat ban that we're trying to get passed, H.R. 1998. And as long as it's legal for people to have exotic wild animals in the United States, it provides a cover for illegal trafficking in their parts, because you can't tell a tiger bone from a wild tiger from a tiger bone from somebody's pet tiger. And so I'm really glad to see that President Obama is getting behind cracking down on these laws. Also, I thought it was great that yesterday we spent almost all day on Fox News. They came out, there's a picture of their truck. They came out at 11 o'clock and they filmed a noon segment. And then they told everybody on the noon segment all about the follow-up for those 6 cats that we rescued from Kansas. They went and they saw all the cats having their food and playing and having fun, and they showed all of that. But what was really wonderful to me was that they let me talk about the bill. Usually the news doesn't want to talk about legislation, and
Yeah.
they let me spend all day on Fox News yesterday talking about the HR 1998 and how that ban will end the abuses that we're seeing in these big cats.
You know, one of the things that they're doing with rhino horns to protect the rhinos, which is a good idea, is the rangers, or whatever, are poisoning. It doesn't hurt the rhino, but they're poisoning their horn. You know, and what they're doing is essentially making it unusable, so that people aren't stealing it. Because if they steal it, it's not, because what they do, they ingest that rhino stuff. So they make it poison, and so that you can't ingest it now. So therefore, they're taking away its value, and the rhino gets to live on.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and when they do it, it makes it a color, like a vibrant green, I think it is, so that people know that it's been poisoned. So
Oh, that's smart. You know,
Yes.
I know in the past they were cutting the horns off so that people wouldn't kill the rhino in order to take the horn.
right.
But
So now,
that leaves them kind of defenseless. So this sounds like a better option.
yeah, because that makes it totally worthless. Who's going to take a poisonous? I mean, you know, because it costs money to kill the rhino, to go out there, hunt it down. You know, drug people or who's ever doing that, I'm sure is concerned about the bottom dollar. So they're not going to kill the rhino just for the fun of it. Seriously, because they don't get fun out of it. Probably they don't even care if it. They don't care about it at all. They just want that horn.
Yeah.
Amazing. Have you ever? What did they do? Sell it in a powder or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't even know. I'm glad we don't know. We shouldn't even tell people how to do it. All right, what's next on our list here of wonderful news? Let's see.
Well, actually, if you were talking about poison, I think it's interesting that the people who are trying to protect horses from being slaughtered for their meat in this country are letting the zoos know that that meat that comes from horses is often poison because of the drugs that the animals are given to painkillers and such that they're given.
And it's poisoned by the hand of the person that kills the darn horse. It just
Yes.
It's poisoned with evil, or like the evil person. Seriously, putting down horses. I don't know. You know, you know what? I really don't know. I'm confused about how to feel it, because you know, like in places like the north, south, the southern plain states are into horse slaughtering, but there's this problem. Okay, if they ban horse slaughtering, a whole bunch of horses go neglected. Okay, so that's not good. Can you turn to my camera there for a second? And if they don't allow slaughtering, and then if they do allow slaughtering, well, horses are being killed. So it's like no matter what, a horse is going to suffer. So I guess you have to figure out which is best. Because when
You know, I think
because when you take away slaughtering, like you make that illegal or whatever, it takes away the value of the horse. So if the horse has value, this is the way they think in the plain states. If the horse has value, you know, if you can get it slaughtered at a later date, you actually will take care of it better. That's their thing.
Yeah, I have trouble with that because I think the answer to this is probably the same answer to the exotic cat problem, which is people shouldn't have horses unless they can afford to provide lifetime decent care for the animals.
That's right.
And those people that get them just can't do that.
You should have like a
So-
license. Got to have a license to have a horse.
Yeah, and all these places that are constantly breeding horses, like for the racetracks, there's only, you know, like 1 in a million horses that really turns out to be a good racer, and then you've
Right.
got all these other horses that end up being given away or sold very cheaply to people who can't take care of them, who then end up turning them around for slaughter. So I think the issue has to be dealt with at the beginning, at the breeding part of it.
Right. And folks, I have firsthand experience, not with doing it, but viewing it. Firsthand experience. Seeing it with my own eyes of people giving their horses up and them being slaughtered. And the normal procedure. Well, I don't know all the all. I mean, there's many procedures on how they kill horses, but two of the main ones are shooting it in the head and cutting it so it bleeds to death. Okay, each one is not, because each one's got problems. If you shoot a horse in the head, sometimes the first bullet doesn't work, or you miss, or you blow its ear off instead. Okay, and then or else it doesn't die on the first one. Okay, so that it's not a good situation at all. And even before it happened, you think a horse is like so extremely smart. A horse knows when you're about to shoot it in the head. A horse knows. You can feel it. A horse knows. And then when they cut them, it's like a slow death. They sit there and literally bleed to death. And they know that that's happening too. I'm going to cry here. I can't.
And if they do it humanely by injecting them with a drug and putting them to sleep and then, injecting so that their heart stops, those drugs will kill any animal who eats the meat. So that's what the whole purpose of this campaign is, to let people know if you're feeding horse meat to your cats, more than likely you're poisoning your cats.
Yeah, well, it's not good to see these horses go down like that. It's just not. I mean, it's got to be better. I don't know. So I don't think going about it that way is cool. So, I think they should ban slaughtering and make you have to have a license, just like a car. You got to have a horse license.
And, if you want to breed the animal, then fine. You have to set up a trust fund to take care of that animal for the rest of its life. Well, that'll really limit the amount of breeding that goes on.
That's true. And then if you do all these things, then it's like you're punished severely or something. I just don't get it. Why people, I don't know, it's weird. I've never killed anything. One time I almost killed a groundhog when I was younger. Like, it was caught under a cattle crossing. And I almost killed it, and then I was helping my dog kill it. And then I couldn't take it anymore, so then I stopped. And then from that day forward, I was like, that is the worst thing to ever feel, is to want to kill something like that. That's crazy. On to happier news.
Well, I don't know if it's happier news, but the New York Post, which is a very important newspaper, actually came out with an article talking about how wild things are meant to be wild. And the article was about killer whales and some of the horrible things that have happened with killer whales in captivity. And so there wasn't anything in there about cats. But what really impressed me was that the New York Post understands that wild animals should be wild. And so hopefully they will reach enough people that start getting that message out that big cats shouldn't be kept in cages either. And one of the things I read, because I don't know anything about whales, but I was really surprised to hear apparently one of these whales that they had released out into the wild for some reason, it had been trained to go up to boats all the time. And so the first thing it did was it went up to this big tugboat and got killed in the propeller.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they were talking about how that trainer was killed by the whale over at SeaWorld. And the purpose of the article was saying that people who think that these animals have the same meaning in their emotions and the way that they deal with us as we have are showing how ignorant they are of these animals' real capacity to kill. And it's not that, it's not that they're, well, I don't know how to say that. I think they have all of the same emotions that we have. They grieve and they love and they have all of those kinds of emotions. But their way of interpreting those emotions are very different than the way we interpret it. So something we see that we think, oh, they love me. It's like, no, they would love to have you for lunch.
Well, if you want to see real torture, or hopefully you don't want to see it, but like extreme torture comes in, you just can't kill a whale. You can shoot a whale 100 times, they're just going to kill it. You can shoot it, you can harpoon it, you can do all kinds of stuff, and it'll take hours and hours and hours, sometimes days, for a whale to die. Seriously. And that's like, I can't even watch that thing on Discovery Channel, Whale Watchers or whatever, or what is it, Shepherd something.
Oh, Whale Wars.
Yeah, Whale Wars. I can't. That's like, I mean, that's another weak. Any animal's a weak point of mine. But when you, I mean, if that's inevitable that you got to torture an animal by killing it, if that's inevitable and can't be changed, then I think it should be quick. Not, a long, agonizing death, or else. Look, and I can't even talk about this. The worst thing I ever seen was animals get their fur ripped off of them while they were awake.
Yeah, we're never showing that on this show. I can't
No.
take that either.
No, that's because. Oh my God. Okay. So there's got to be a happy story in here somewhere.
Well, the last article that I had up here was talking, it had a figure that I hadn't seen before, saying that the illegal wildlife trade is now estimated to be at $10 billion a year. And there was a great quote in there that said, the existence of illegal wildlife trade undermines efforts made by a country to protect their natural resources. Recent evidence points at, as CBI must be knowing, some of the networks are linked with terror groups. These people that abuse and exploit baby tigers and make, pimp them out and have people have their pictures made with tigers, they always refer to people like us who are speaking out for animal welfare as terrorists. And I just find that to be absurd, because the real terrorists are the ones who are inflicting terror on these animals.
That's what exactly. There is nothing terroristic about. If I'm sparking terror in you by telling you to stop abusing animals, well, good then. I'm a terrorist. I wish I was a terrorist then. Oh, David said he's a terrorist now. But seriously, because if you're abusing animals, you deserve to be terrorized by somebody, because you're terrorizing people. Why is it okay for you to do it, but nobody can do it to you? Please.
Well, I would never condone terrorizing anybody or anything.
Well,
but I agree that their methods are just horrible.
Well, from what I don't know, is this true? Like, I've heard that PETA, which I'm for PETA. I'm all for you, PETA. But I heard that they're actually on the national list as a terrorist organization.
I think that they have been, and I think that that's really a shame, because when you consider what real terrorism is, that is just a total abuse of the word to say that people who are out there advocating for better treatment of animals are terrorists. That's just crazy. There are going to be some people who just don't understand that you can't threaten people, but that doesn't speak to the entire organization, because you have one or two bad apples out there, and they try to make it the entire organization is bad because somebody who said they were a card-carrying PETA member did something bad, and it's like, you can't hold PETA accountable for that. Just like you can't hold the church accountable for one person in the congregation, or you can't hold Big Cat Rescue accountable for what one individual does. I mean, there's just no way that you can control people enough to make them all toe the party line, which is we want to treat these animals well, and we want the public to agree to laws that provide that kind of protection.
Our staff producer has a comment. What is it?
Let's hear it, Brian.
Oh, Carol, can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, well, due to the whole terrorism thing, I think that terrorism is abuse, and the way that with the whole Cat Chat thing, and I've really been getting into, I had some moments where, you said something, and David said something, and like y'all both made good points about terrorism with animals, because of the fact that people should not be abusing animals, period. And plus, animals are like people. If you don't mess with them, you don't hurt them, you don't do any harm to them, and they are like human beings. If you do something to them, they will do something to you back. And even if they do something to you first, don't abuse the animal or anything else. That's like your cat scratches you in the ankle, and then next thing you know, you kick it out your window. You do not do that. I mean, your cat is like your family. Like for instance, me and my mom's cat, Millie, and Millie, we've been growing attached to each other, and I do not hurt that cat at all. That is like my little sister, and my mom has me calling her my little sister. And the thing is,
She
with
does?
animal abuse, and David is right, people should go to jail for that. It should be a law in America to not even abuse animals. If you abuse an animal, you get abused yourself. And the thing is, going back to the Roman times, you were put to death for that. And I think that's what people should be, whoever abuse animals should go through that. And you right then and there, they'll get used to you. I mean, just give it time. Don't just go in there and just just be your usual angry self and kick the animal around. That's just wrong.
Well,
Imagine what a wonderful world it would be if people treated animals as well as they wanted to be treated themselves.
I think he's holding that opinion in for quite some time. Yeah, I'm glad you got it out.
I'm glad I did too.
But, we reflect his sentiments as well. I feel that way too. Stop the abuse.
We do have some happy news in our last 5 minutes here.
Yes.
Hamburger Mary's is our next event coming up on July the 30th, and it's going to be at Hamburger Mary's down in Ybor City, which is like a little bit east of Tampa, at 7:30, and we'll have 10 games of bingo for $10. We had so much fun. I put the video up here. People can get it from the show notes, though, because it's 8 minutes long.
Oh.
But it showed what a great time people had, the costume contests and the prize packages that they won, and it was just wonderful to be in a room full of people that just love Big Cat Rescue. So I'm really looking forward to the 30th as well.
All right. Well, we'll show the video on our way out, like the very last thing when we say goodbye. Then we'll end with that video
Yeah, cool.
because we actually have it here.
Great.
Wow. How is that? What is it? Wonderland for Tigers or something like that? That big area that you're making. Vacation.
Vacation
rotation.
rotation.
Yeah. How's that coming?
We have 110 feet more to go,
Well, that's not
and
bad.
then it will be ready for Flavio.
That's like, let's see, my house is 20. That's like 4 lengths. I think my house is 25 feet wide. Isn't that weird? It's like 100,000 feet tall, but 25 feet wide. I live in a mini skyscraper. So I really do. So that would be 4 hours. That's really not that far. I don't know how much. Now, how much money more do you need?
Oh gosh, I'm thinking we probably still need to raise another 50,000 or so. But I found out at the staff meeting today that an awful lot of people did reply to our Big Cat Times that just went out. So hopefully that'll raise a big part of it. The thing that's holding us up the most right now is the rain. It just rains every day, and our big lift that lifts those panels up into the sky, it can't go through the grass there without digging deep trenches into the mud. So we've got to wait for it to dry out.
Wow. Did it rain today?
Not yet today. It
No.
rains in the afternoon.
Oh.
Yesterday when the news crew was here, they were here, they started at 11. They didn't leave till 6. And so we did like 6 or 7 different segments throughout the day, and it was the first day in forever that it didn't rain. It was like, wow, the sky's parted, we got this great news coverage, and now
Right.
it's back to raining here.
Now, what was that thing on? I guess it had the news cruise. I saw you posted a picture, said something like Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, all of the cats that we rescued from Kansas recently, those 6 cats, they all had Gilligan's Island names.
Oh, really?
There's
Oh,
Skipper
that's
and
cool.
Gilligan and Ginger and Mary Ann, Thurston. So they came out to see how they were doing 2 months after the rescue.
Wow, that's cool. So
Yeah.
how close are we to an Android app?
I check every day because it's been pending in the Android store now for like 2 weeks, and they still haven't approved it as of yesterday. I haven't checked it yet today.
Oh, wow.
Right after the show, I'll check, and as soon as it's ready, it'll be on the right-hand sidebar of bigcatrescue.org. There's a link that says Android, but you can't click it yet.
Yeah.
As soon as it's live, I'll make it live.
Oh, good. Well, is there anything else that you want to touch on before we go?
No,
No?
it's always
Okay.
good to see you, except I didn't get to actually see you this time.
Yes, and the show went pretty good this time too. But like I said, we're going to start recording the show. So what that means is in time. I don't know, Carol. Do you think, like, for the time that we air, do you think it should just be the next day or later on in the day? Because I have to edit it, and that doesn't take that long, but it does take a little bit of time.
I don't really have a preference. The only reason I choose Wednesday at noon to do the recording is because it's right after my staff meeting, so I'm here.
Yeah. So what's not going to change for you? You know, you will still be doing it, recording at least by then. But I'll post it and let everybody know. But say you guys say you're like, well, I'm really into the Wednesday thing. So you can still join we'll have a Google Hangout for every show. We'll start doing that because I like that. And
I had a lot less trouble with that this time. I didn't have all the feedback issues. I can hear a little bit of noise when I'm talking, but it's nothing like before.
well, you know what? When we go to not broadcasting at the same time, that's going to change that a lot.
That'll be good.
Because what you're getting is kind of like this broadcast weird loop thing, whatever. But, okay. Well, then I'll let you all know. I'll post, we'll keep you posted on the time that the new shows will air. You can always watch the shows on demand, on my other site, but that's coming soon, too. One way or another, you'll be able to see the show somewhere. But, but like I said, every, most likely to be like Thursdays at noon that you'll start seeing new episodes. Okay, everybody, we are going to go out with the one video that we were talking about from Hamburger Mary's in Ybor, Florida, which is great. Great. I highly recommend. I've been there. It's wonderful. The whole area of Ybor is great. So you want to make a night of it and then go to that Big Cat Rescue Bingo thing. All right, Carol, thanks for joining us again.
Hi.
On your show, Cat Chat.
Thank you.
And that's Carol Baskin. So I guess you can go ahead and hang out. And
Hang out.
Hang up. All right, everybody. And we'll see you, and we'll go to that video. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm David Stanton.
Bye.
Carol.
For Big Cat Rescue. Yes, baby. B10. Bingo. Noise, please. We're really glad that each and every one of you are with us this evening. How many people is drinking liquor? Oh, 62. Awesome, my dear. Right there is your prize package. Courtesy of Big Cat Rescue, we love you. Thank you. Baby. How's that? Good bingo, baby. Good bingo. Crumple up your playing cards, my dear. Take your victory lap, please. Pelter, pelter. All the way down. Pelter, pelter. All the way down, all the way back. Pelter, 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 pelter. Pelter. Awesome, my dear. Right there is your prize package. Courtesy of Big Cat Rescue. We love you. Thank you. Baby. Are you in all those ribbons? You are? G50. G56. We'll have to evacuate this whole building. Let's go with B5. It's on, babies. Bingo. I love you. What is your name, Precious? Haley. What a beautiful name. Haley. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Haley, take your victory lap around the bar area, my precious. Pelter, pelter, all the way down, all the way back. Pelter, pelter, all the way down, all the way back. Pelter, pelter, pelter. Yes, ma'am. Chunk it at her. Chunk it hard. Chunk it. All right, baby doll. Here we go, right here is your prize package. Are you 21 years of age? You are? Okay. I wish somebody still asked me if I was doing it. Well, yeah, here, take a picture with the transies. The next game is what we call top or bottom, babies. Well, you gotta have all the numbers across the top or what? We got a bingo, mama. Let me tell you something. Girl, I've seen head wounds that didn't gush that much, Mama. Oh. I love you, girl.
We need an alcoholic picture.
What is your name? What is your name? Amanda, you're the winner. You're the winner, Amanda. Birthday cover. Ladies and Amanda, take your victory lap, my girl. Belger, Belger. All the way down, all the way back. Belger, Belger, all the way down, all the way back. Belger, Belger. Belger, Belger, all the way down, all the way back. Amanda, baby. We love you. Look, Mama, look, let me tell you something. You got a basket here, baby. You got wine, liquor glasses, leopard print, kitty, kitty, kitty. You got a feeding tour, and Mama, look, let me tell you something. I'm getting one of those feeding tours too, but Mama, it's got to cool off a little bit. It's got to cool off a little bit. Girl, I'd be running under that fire hydrant with those cats, baby. Amanda, you're the grand prize winner. Give it up for Amanda, baby. Give it up, give it up. Hi, darling. How are you? Ladies and gentlemen, this is our official winner of the costume contest. Julie. Julie. Oh, my God. Bitch, how can you go wrong with leopard print wine glasses? I'm serious. And yes, ma'am, look. Now, this is what I love. And feeding tour for 2 people at Big Cat Rescue. Watch our keepers feed tigers, leopards, cougars, and transies. Oh, I mean, no, wait a minute. A retail value of $110 right there, baby. We love them. Oh, and they got liquor in. All right, I'm going to tell you right now, whoever wins that 10th game, you can have the liquor, but I want the liquor leopard print pouch is what I want. I'm holding the cat hostage until I get it, okay? Now, Howard, are we ready, Daddy?
Yes, Daddy.
Thank you so much for being here. $367 a piece. Never had so many people boo a transit in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, the winning ticket tonight for the Victor raffle drawing is 815784. Raise it over there. 815784. Awesome! 815784. What's your name, my love? Lisa! Ladies and gentlemen, Lisa is the winner of the 50-50 raffle tonight, courtesy of the Big Cat Rescue! Big Cat Rescue will be back with us Tuesday, July the 30th and Monday, November the 25th. We're happy. B12. G55. Moving right along. Ladies and gentlemen, B1. I've got a G58.